Okay, hi everyone, and welcome. I'm Maria, one of the co-founders of Microtica, and I'm really excited to be here today. This is our first ever kind of live event, and especially on Discord. So bear with us, please. So we might have some technical issues along the way, but I hope we resolve them. We've been really deep down these past few months working on something that feels pretty transformative, which is AI in DevOps. So as it came really naturally to use this technology in DevOps, especially for us, since we were building already a DevOps automation platform that helped kind of developers and DevOps engineers deploy, monitor, and optimize cloud native applications, and using AI to enable and to basically take the pain out of all these tasks is made really much sense to us. So now we finally get to show you one of the first agents that we launched, which is the AI Incident Investigator. There are more to come after this one, which will be mostly around infrastructure creation and optimization. Basically, we wanted to create these kind of live sessions to get some interaction and to show you what the agent really does on real kind of incidents in real environments with real troubleshooting. So this will actually show you how this agent can help you solve problems that normally take hours in just a few minutes. So we will cover today 2 real-life stories. These come from our customers. One is involving a Kubernetes chaos during dev cluster migration. And another one is early morning slowness that led due to some block containers. Basically, the idea behind these sessions is that we put our AI to the test. It's live, and hoping that you get away thinking this could help me tomorrow when you get some kind of incident or some problem in your environments. So without further ado, I will leave the stage to Rade. Rade will guide us through these incidents and the investigation process and show you what the agents can really do. He's our CTO and basically the mind behind this whole technology. So Rade, take it away.
Thanks. So thanks all for joining. I will go through 2 use cases on a real problem that we had and solved with with our existing customers. So usually working with the DevOps, besides setting up the pipelines and infrastructure, managing the infrastructure, usually there are some problems happening in the infrastructure in the cloud, which could be something could be really simple or really complicated things to be solved. The things that I will show you now are part of more complex infrastructure with a lot of millions of users that the customers have. And usually, when you have to solve this kind of problem, you have to first understand the whole landscape of the infrastructure that is deployed, but also understand how all of those services work, how they're all interconnected, so you can spot an issue. And usually, like the incidents that happen are like. For example, my application is really slow, and maybe 50% of the customers are impacted. So from this general problem, you have to go in the cloud with all of those building blocks and services who communicate with each other to understand what's the problem, whether that's on the database layer, on the infrastructure layer, or on the application layer. So it's a huge cognitive workload for the DevOps or SRE engineers to understand what's happening, even though for someone who are really experienced in this domain. So we realized, and we were facing a lot of these problems, and we were part of the teams who were solving who are solving this problem. So being like a team who is working on building a DevOps tool, we realized, okay, let's try and implement an AI and see if this could solve or improve solving the problems that are happening in the cloud. And it turns out that AI, if made in the right way, could like improve the efficiency of the DevOps engineers, even the experienced DevOps engineers, to go and dig into the problems that are happening on the infrastructure, either at the moment or investigate something in the past. So one of those problems that we had recently, a few days ago, was the customers with millions of users, and at some point of time they started facing a problem where their application was slowing down in certain period of the day. So what we did, we started debugging or investigating the problem in the infrastructure using our incident investigator, and I will show you the real session and communication with the agent, but also I will show you a live demo going in the past and try to investigate the same problem, so you can see how that all works. And just bear in mind that we are still in beta. Some things could happen, but hopefully everything will go smoothly. So I will share my screen now. So before starting the investigation, we have to select a context in which we want to investigate. At this moment, it's on the level of one AWS account and one region. In the future, we plan to add a multi-region, multi-account debugging. So I will select one of the accounts, and I will start with the investigation. So how this all works? On the left side, we have the chat window where you discuss with basically you discuss with the cloud anything that you want to understand. So you can ask a question like what is the list of what are my current clusters. Investigate this and this cluster, how all cluster and database are connected, which are the open ports or IP addresses, or whatever you can imagine you can ask. And just to mention then, from security perspective, we are using only read-only access at the moment. Probably in the future, we'll add more, but so anything that we interact with a cluster, anything that we do is by consent of the customers. Basically, they give us the role that we should assume and interact with their cluster, which is, I think, really important, especially in the AI space, where AI could hallucinate in some moments, and it's really important to have a full control over the whole process. And we also plan to add much more in that regards in the future. We can also discuss about that. But let me just jump in and try one example. So I can, as I said, I can ask list my clusters. So, and what will do the agent is actually will accept this request, and it will start using the different tools that we have to list all of the clusters that I have in this specific region. Would you like? So this is the list of the cluster. Would you like more detailed information? No, I just received this request from the customer, so I'm just putting this more or less the same as we received as an incident. So we are experiencing this is the first cluster, the core cluster. So please investigate. So what the agent will do behind the scenes, it will first do a plan of the actions that has to be executed. And in the future, we plan to show them here, like step by step, what the agent is planning to do, like a task that has to be executed, and then the agent will execute them one by one. So we have more transparency in terms of what exactly will be executed. And much more in that case, you will have much more control of what you want to investigate, or maybe add some things that you want. Maybe you already know some details, because this query is really generic. I just give a time frame, and I just say, okay, let's investigate what's the problem here with my cluster. So now I have some preliminary information of what happened. So the agent went through multiple steps. So identified first in which time period it has to investigate, get some more details about the cluster to see if the cluster is working properly. Get some load balancer metrics here. So as you can see, you have a full transparency here in terms of the requests to the AWS and responses. In the future, we even plan to add what exactly actions has to be executed for all of those actions. So yeah, what it did, it get the load balancer metrics, it get the target cluster service metrics, and also try to get some log insights in that period of time. So in this case, it didn't found more, but I would try just to get some to push him to find something more than what it found. So maybe I can ask the question like, okay, tell me exactly how much 500 errors I had that day. And so at this moment, on the level we are, so it needs a bit more like hand holding. But in the future, as we fine tune the model more and more with more and more autonomous than it is now. And here, like besides some tools that we have, which are built in, we also have like execute command, which can execute any command of AWS CLI, or it can be like a TypeScript or shell script that will be executed. And again, when it's communicating with the AWS, it will use just the roles that the customer is giving us, or the permissions that the customer is giving us. So with executing an arbitrary command, you have like more control to do any kind of stuff in the cloud. So here it identified a lot of 500 errors in this time. So like target and load balancer 5xx errors. So I'll just maybe set a follow-up question. So can you give me the top 3 hours with the most 5xx most 5xx errors? The same day. So if I want to get deeper into it, when those things happen exactly, so I can move the whole troubleshooting process as I would like. If somebody has any questions in the meantime, while please just let me know. Yeah, so now we generated some command, but identified that there is a problem with a command, which could happen. I mean, sometimes these kind of things happen, and we have like evaluations and checking behind the scenes, but also sometimes things could happen, and what the agent will do is just see the error and try to fix the error. So now we have a valid request and response and all the information here. So it will automatically heal itself. So it gets the commands, but also it's trying to get the exact load balancer metrics and try to correlate all of that information, so it can give me a more reliable and specific report from troubleshooting, like this whole troubleshooting activity. So now it's doing based on the analysis. So this is the table of the errors. These are the top hours that has the most problems. So I can just do a follow-up. Can you check the logs at the most part in the correlation between and the logs. Yeah, so what happened here, I assume, is that the logs are trying to get the information from the current running container, which probably if you had the deployment today, these will be the containers logs for today, but it realized that you cannot find logs there, and it's itself realized that there could be potentially logs which has happened before. And what it did, it got the log streams with all the data, the first and last error and timestamp, and based on that, we'll try to investigate more precisely where is the problem. So here now we have a lot more problems identified here, and let's see what will come out of that. So some network issues. Some database problems, trying to find a different filter patterns and try to investigate the problem. And now this is kind of like a step by step, but certainly more efficient would be to execute more like a parallel troubleshooting, where the agent will execute multiple tools at the same time, like a group of tools that has to be executed. So in that way, it will be much more efficient to do the investigation itself. Now, I mean, obviously, this is much better. So it identified much more problems, like a high response time, which is I mean, it's not a big difference, but for these customers, it's a huge one. So identify the huge traffic volume and that time externals. It tried to upload the media, so it got a lot of timeouts, which with the level of requests that they have, having all of those requests at the same time, which are timing out, and it's really doing a huge overwhelming on the system, because there's a lot of parallel upload requests, which I mean take forever to finish. So I guess most probably. And we identified that. So this was one of the problems that is causing the slowing down the performance of the application, is because there were a lot of gateway timeouts for the application. So as you can see here, basically you have to navigate it a bit, but the whole process, based on also our experience, it's much better, because in all of those steps that you go through, it gives you some insights, and you can navigate it, and it's really how to say, fun to start to troubleshoot the problems, which it's not usually the case when you're doing that alone and you're spending hours to debug some problems. In this case, using the agent, it's much more fun. So besides the issues detected, I have some problem summary here. I have the key metrics, which were important for the error that has happened. So the 500 errors, memory utilization, and CPU utilization, which was quite okay in this case. And then I have some critical logs here that I can just see and exactly where and which requests are causing these problems. Also on the left side, there's some recommended next steps that I can do, and I can just click on like how to, and then send the request, and it will execute that for me. So do you have any questions so far, or I can move to the next use case here? Okay, so I will move to the next use case. This is just generating like all the code that needs to be executed for you to improve this, solve this problem. And I guess good thing here would be to integrate with Git as well, and just maybe push those fixes and create a pull request, so the developers will review that and merge to the, for example, development branch, test the solution, and then move to production. So the crucial thing here for the debugger, incident investigator agent, our other agents is the amount the amount of tool that you have on your disposal, so the agents can use. Certainly, having a lot of tools in one context could be problematic and could lead to a potential hallucination of the agent. But in general, the quality of the tools, the input, and especially the output data of those agents, especially if you can make them like dynamic and configurable based on what you're trying to get. It's something that makes a lot of difference in the performance and the quality of the results. Another important thing is that how do you do the system prompts, the instructions, how do you organize, what's your graph or workflow of the agents, what you should check first, second, the planning, and many different things. And also the knowledge base that you're using behind the scenes. So I would say those three things, at least for our use case, turn out to be the most important, which I think it's similar to if you're trying to solve other problems and build agents for solving other problems. Yeah, I will now move to the next use case. So this was just, let me try to find it. Yeah, so this is already solved problem. We had this yesterday. So what happened for one of our customers? We were working on the like upgrading the version of the Kubernetes cluster, and while we were doing the migration to or upgrade to a new version of the clusters, a lot of things were deprecated. And the AWS console has this kind of like a dashboard where you can see what are the discrepancy between the Kubernetes resources. But it's mostly usually about the resource APIs that you're using and what's compatible or not. So in our case, there was nothing crucial there, nothing critical. And then we started with the migration. But in that cluster in particular, it was on a development environment. We had a lot of custom resources and services that we were using, which started to just fail. From the core services like core DNS, kube proxy, and other services to something that we have there, like a custom like database deployed, and other services that we have, and we had to investigate and solve them one by one. So we started like we spent on like a couple of hours to investigate that problem, and it was really frustrating because we had to understand all of those like what services are deployed, how they're all connected, what like versions are all of those, and there was a lot of moving parts there. So it like if we solve one problem, another will happen. So it was really a mess to do that. So at that time, so we have this agent, but we didn't have like support for Kubernetes to execute the command for Kubernetes. So we say let's spend a few hours and build some instructions for Kubernetes. We already have the whole like engine, and just implement the Kubernetes implementation, and still will work. And that's why it's still localhost, because we're still working on that, but we just tried to solve that problem. So we stopped with investigation, spent a couple of hours to include the Kubernetes into the agent, and then continue with the investigation. So instead of spending few hours by ourselves, so we basically spent 30 minutes discussing with the agent that we just built and included this support for Kubernetes. And in 30 minutes, we managed to find that problem. And again, it required a bit of like hand holding and navigation. But the real difference that the agent made was that it was able to really quickly understand all of the services that were deployed, what is the status of the services, what are the logs of the services, and if it found some problems, immediately try to investigate even more or provide a solution for that problem. So it turns out in the end there was some networking issue there that the agent was able to investigate. And the most interesting thing was that it was able to automatically spin up new testing containers where it understood which exactly like nodes in which private subnet was causing that problem. And one of the issue was that in the VPC and the routing was problematic, and another problem was that the kube proxy was not on the version who was compatible with the cluster. So, and it identified all of those problems. So we just applied that new configuration and upgraded the services, which it identified, and everything started working fine. So at the end, I just ask, check if the kube proxy on the Kubernetes cluster have compatible versions. So it executed a few Kubernetes commands, and then identified that now you have like compatible versions. It's all good. The next step is what we're planning is that to just prevent these kind of problems. So the production clusters still has to be upgraded. So what we are planning to do is to just test this agent against the production cluster with read-only access and see what will come out of that. And I mean, this is, again, work in progress, and there is a lot of things that could be improved in terms of the instructions to be able to find some problems and also fix some problems. But it has a lot of potential, as we are seeing now, because we are our customers, and also we are using this on a daily basis to solve the problems, and it's really like a performance and efficiency boost for sure. So that's my use cases that I have. If you have any questions, or maybe say some of your problems that we have that you have while you're investigating your infrastructure, and maybe we can discuss and how the AI agents could help you solve that problem. So thank you for listening.
Awesome. Thank you, Rada, for that. So, and thanks everyone for kind of debugging live with us. I think this was a great first session. So the idea, as I mentioned with these sessions, is that we're actively looking for real world use cases to kind of continue learning, training, and improving, stress testing our AI agents. So if you have any incident that's bugging you right now, you have some logs and metrics you want to be interpreted fast, or debugging workflow, just ping us. You can create, I will post the link here for kind of a one-on-one session, or you can drop your incidents in the incident clinic channel. And let us know if you have any questions, if you want to see more of this, if you have any feedback, don't hold back, please. I think we have a typing question. Okay, so thanks, Daffy. What do you do to train the agents to understand more about what is normal and what is a problem?
Yeah, so we are using a different set of knowledge bases, first of all, and the troubleshooting guides from AWS, but for also from the internet, but also we've been in the DevOps space for a few years now. So we faced a lot of different problems and solutions. So we'll incorporate all of that into a knowledge basis that we use to be able to understand what's the problem. But that's the knowledge base, and the knowledge base like live data or historical data to be able to understand if that's a problem or not. So again, it's about the tools that you have. So for example, for some of the application, maybe 80% of the CPU, it's not a problem, and then you can understand that from either historical data, where you understand that 80% doesn't mean anything for the application, but also if you can correlate that information with other services in the AWS, which could lead you to decide, this is not problematic. It's something that is really crucial. So we are combining multiple data sources to understand if this is something usual or this is something which is problematic. And for sure, there is a lot of room for improvement there. As we go and as we understand more and more real life examples. So it's more about the context and the data that you have, either live data or some historical data or knowledge bases that you have, and if you combine them in a right way, then you will have much more success in understanding like what's the problem and if it's a false positive or not. Hope I answered your question. Let me know if you have any follow-up. Okay.
Sure. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe
I wanted to mention.
maybe I can speak and answer your question. I mean, from my experience, thanks, rather, by the way, I like your presentation. From my experience, a lot of companies are using observability platforms such as Datadog or Grafana or New Relic or whatnot. All of those observability platforms has and monitoring platforms has comprehensive integrations and complex integrations on each of these layers. And let's say if I have like a complex microservices application of 100 apps and all of those have application tracing with Datadog, are you thinking into some kind of interaction with the observability platforms to scan tracing and metrics from those sources? Is it can it be possible now, or it's something for future?
It's something for the future for sure. But currently we are integrating with the AWS tools for observability, which we know that they're not they're much more comprehensive solutions, which are software as a service solution like Datadog, Dynatrace, and others, which can give you much more data and insights of what's happening in your cloud. So for sure, we're planning to add much more tools in terms of the interactions with the other monitoring tools to better understand how your application is working, and combining them with the AWS resources. It could be a game changer for sure. I see a lot of those companies, not just in the monitoring, but others as well, even not really connected to a DevOps, that they're building their own MCP servers where you can ask all of those questions, and it can give you much better answers, so the other agents could be able to better understand. So that could speed up the process of integration much more. But even without that, we could query all of the data that they have and try to understand. And I think in terms of the complexity, from our experience, the time series data and the log data is probably the most hard thing to do because there's a huge amount of data that you have to process. So you have to really find where the problem is, be really efficient of where to look for logs, what queries that you have to use, and also in terms of the time series data, again, could be like some false positives and stuff. So that's the area where I think is the most challenging, but also that those data sources gives you the best understanding of what's happening with your system.
Yeah. I totally agree, because usually you would have, if you have like 100 applications, you would set up alerts for, let's say, for 500 errors, and if I have 500 errors, I will automatically get an alert that will be published to some monitoring tool like PagerDuty. Maybe I will get immediately an alert on my phone. So what I would really need is to examine everything that application is touching, rather than everything that my infrastructure and everything my software has, So the data set is it's less than it's narrowed down. So I think it will be really, really good if you make like interactions with such observability metrics or observability systems.
For
That
sure.
would be
Yeah, I mean,
win.
yeah. Yeah, currently I didn't show that, but maybe if I find some sessions where I ask like investigate this problem and give me like a diagram of how my application is connected, which services, which application, where is the bottleneck. So it is able to generate like a live diagram and that moment of time and what has happened and how your applications are connected, especially if you have a lot of applications. So the agent should do also to understand the topology, how the things are connected with each other, and then also work on the monitoring data and to understand where the problems happen. And it turns out it's if done right, it's as your infrastructure gets more and more complex, you get more and more value. Certainly, I said like if it's done right, because if it's not, you have a lot of building blocks and it can make many mistakes. But if it's done right, the boost of performance in terms of like if you have some problem and the time for you to solve the problem, it's much lower than doing that by yourself and try to understand all of those services. And even if you understand what the services do, you have to go and understand where is the problem. So maybe sometimes it's just you get an alarm and the problem is there, but usually many different components are involved, and it's not like really like simple to solve the problem.
Yep, I agree. Thanks.
Any other questions?
No, nothing for me. Thank you.
Thanks.
Awesome. Yeah, I think we can wrap up then. We'll set something up from I think 2 weeks from now. So stay tuned and yeah, let's resolve some more issues together. Thank you again for a session. Thank you everyone for being here and talk to you soon. Bye.
Thank you everyone. Bye.